Bitcoin has dropped to drastic levels, dragging alts and everything else down with it. And what is about to happen next? I'm going to give you guys the roadmap, just as I did for this downfall, and what you can expect over summer and when specifically the market should start to kick back up, and so that you can see your portfolio go to epic gains again. Now, Bitcoin's chart does not look great. I will admit that as much as anyone else will, and it's simple as this. I did talk about this impending happening all the way back at 66K. I said, everyone watch out, we have a potential 3 inside down. And I actually said it with 66K because I saw some very bearish movements coming. Now at that 3 inside down we had up here, that happened way up down at 67,000, right? We had the 3 inside down. We never came right back to that. So had you opened up that trade, you would have been in, or at least taken profit. You'd have been out of the market waiting for this exact move to happen, because for some reason I do this right over and over again on the daily chart, and it seems like many people still keep missing it. Now I don't know if that's because you're watching too many YouTubers with too many different ideas. You're watching, Crypto Rand saying coach is wrong, there is no sell in May. That happened faster than we could even see it happen. 5 days ago I talked about this, and actually 60 days ago. So we're at 64. I was talking, is it gonna be a sell in May and go away type event? I was kind of like, ooh. And actually I was at Harry Yee's apartment inside of Abu Dhabi when I made that tweet where I said, take profit, make sure you take profit. It could be a sell in May and go away. I saw this happening, and I want you guys to understand that I do these videos for you guys who are watching them, and on Twitter for those people who are reading those tweets. And the reason why I do these tweets is not because of ego. I actually want you all to be successful. I'm already successful. Everyone that knows me knows I've done very well in the crypto space. I know the right people, I have the right network, I help projects, we build great stuff in this space. But ultimately, my goal always has been and will be to help you, not to help me, because I could continue doing what I'm doing without wasting any time of my day, making these videos, taking hours of my life to do them every single week. I am here to help you. And unfortunately, our industry is full of people that are egotistical little dickies, and they really think that, their ego matters more than what actually happens in the market, and they want you to follow them just to follow them. They don't really care if you lose money. I do. That's why I tell you to take profit. And so when we look at the charts, I talked about this and I said, here are the levels I'm looking at. I drew the first one, and then a couple days later I was like, you know what, let's go to the bottom of the cloud. We basically went to the bottom of the cloud. Now what's next? We have to watch other coins for, and I'm going to show you with Bitcoin where we're going to come out. So Bitcoin would really need to break back, go sideways and break back above this $60,000 level. Then we have some major resistance up at 66 and some minor resistance down at 64. So between 60 and 66, we're gonna have all this resistance now. And then up at 71, we also have resistance. So there are levels of resistance there, but I could say that very confidently, they're not extreme levels of resistance. So that's a positive. Now, when I look at this chart, I'm kind of thinking, what's next? Well, when we go down this hard, and when you look at the RSI, so let me just bring this up a little bit, because I don't really talk about RSI too much. When you see it gets overdone, we start seeing tops coming not always right as they happen, but a little bit after. So lagging indicator like RSI won't tell you exactly when it's going to come, which is why you cannot trade on the RSI. But when we go back and we look for levels that were this low on the chart, we can go back all the way to here when we were at the bottom around 25,000. And the only other time we were kind of close to these levels were on this dip right here at 19, and right really near the bottom, which was around here, and this bottom over here before we came back up, and here. So we're getting into that territory. So I'm going to mark this off just for everyone to keep and look and see. I'm going to mark this off with a rectangle down here. So if we get between here and here, and we're going to mark it across the way right there, when we get into that zone, right, and that's basically between 30 and 20 on the RSI, we're looking at likely Bitcoin within the week after that, potentially 2 weeks after that, starting to get way too oversold on the daily chart, meaning there's too much sellers, there's not enough buyers. And what do we look for? We look for equilibrium. Now we use the Ichimoku because it also gives us equilibrium, which means when the buyers and the sellers meet. Right now, what we're seeing is a flattening Kijun, just like we saw up here when I was talking about, oh, we're way too far away from the Kijun. It's flattened. It could go sideways and up, but likely we're going to come back down. And what happened? The Kijun pulled it back down, held, and then became a TK cross up here. And then we saw that bearish TK cross movement into the cloud and all the way to the bottom for an edge to edge trade. We have a bearish Chiku span. If we go underneath this cloud, we are then fully bearish, like fully macro bearish, fully trend reversal. Okay, that is not good. And the levels that we could come down to that I'm showing you right here that I see could be between 52 and 50. Now, if that happens, we would be in a majorly oversold level. So it's possible that we can see a flat Kijin starting here. The Kijin is pretty far away. It's all the way up at $7,500 away. So we can see that the price may pull back up to those levels, maybe to the Tenkin around 62 before we see a pushback down and potentially into the 50 to 52 level. And some people said to me, well, coach, like, isn't this manipulation? Now it could be, and I'll give you some examples of that. So let's go back to the 24th of April while I warned everyone to take profit. I was seeing that negative stuff coming, especially with the 3 inside down potentially coming up. So here's the 24th of April. We were like 66, 65, something in that range. I was in Abu Dhabi and I wrote this tweet while I was in Harry's office. I said, best to take profit. Warning you now, TA is why. Long-term wallets selling is why. Impairing bearish movements is why. Careful here. The market could be in a sell and main go away the way the technical analysis looks. Now, the TA was showing me that. We were getting ugly. We were getting close to the cloud. We were having a bearish retest of the $67,000 level. TA was showing me that. But not only with TA showing me that, you go in here and you see sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. Okay, there was a couple days of buying, 24 sell off, 25th sell, 26. So I could see that there was obviously a trend shift, and that was like almost around the same day. Actually, it was the same day. I didn't even know this was going to happen, but that was the same day BlackRock stopped buying Bitcoin for that 5-day span until they sold yesterday. Okay, so looking at that, that's why I said it, right? And not that, and I didn't say to anyone, hey guys, by the way, you need to be careful. You sell all your stuff. I just said, careful here, best to take profit. I'm warning you now. Then we go to the 26th of April where I said to those who got angry and sent super negative messages and comments, you're about to find out why I'm the coach and why you should always listen. There's literally never a bad time to take profit, and that doesn't mean you have to sell your bag and it's a bear market. Again, reinforcing the stuff that I'm saying. So the 26th, here we are. We're still at 63, 64. We're not at 57, right? And then the very next tweet that I did was on the 27th, and I was showing, hey, we're breaking that 64 level, but here's what I said. This is the F around and find out. The chart has gone nasty on the daily. People always doubt me or call me out, but I warned we drop. Looking to buy Bitcoin between 60K and 52K. Trade smart and protect your capital, or listen to my haters and get wrecked. So again, I don't do that. I'm just showing you because you're listening to a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. They aren't seasoned veterans and they're not proven to be right a lot, right? And so I'm not doing this for ego. I'm doing this to try to help you understand that there's some people that are full of crap and there's some people that aren't. So then again, boom, look at here, the 30th of April. So now I'm continuing to reinforce that shit, guys, be careful. So here's what I said. I said, saved by the cloud again. So we bounced off the cloud right here. Another entry opportunity, right? Look, we had a bearish TK cross right here. It was all impending. It's all coming down to that. And then I said, let's see if we can remain above the cloud because it will get ugly if we can't. Fast forward. We don't hold the cloud. So look at that. That is, what day is it? April 30th. All right, so we go from this chart to the very next day and look at the chart the very next day. Oh crap, we went all the way to $56,000. So had you listened, taken profit, been out of the market, in today's day where we're at 57,900, you would have all that extra capital to buy more Bitcoin and accumulate more. Instead, you fail to listen and you listen to people that are mocking me for saying what I just said. Now, clearly this looks a lot like the McDonald's pattern we had last cycle. What is the McDonald's pattern, coach? Let me show you. It's still on my chart from last cycle. Here's the McDonald's pattern we had, like that, right? Well, this is not exactly the same thing, but it looks and resembles similarities of what we had at the top last cycle, which was this: break into the cloud, break below the cloud, right? So this is basically what we had happen in the last week, right? We go over here and then we come back to the other chart. So if I come back to this chart right here and I go back, it looks very similar to what last cycle's bear market started at. I'm not saying the bear market is going to start, but if we go below the cloud, if the Chiku span stays below the candlesticks, and if that TK cross stays bearish, these are bear market, these are shorting opportunities, right? They're sell-offs. Now what we're going to look for is that RSI to get a little bit lower, maybe have a little bit more sell-off and potentially go lower, come down this, and maybe we'll bounce somewhere where that 200 EMA is. So that's what we have to look for. And that's why I'm saying it. So you make your own decisions, but Bitcoin is is definitely the leading indicator of our entire market. Now we're gonna have outliers like meme coins, like Young Pepe and others that have been actually doing extremely well in this bearish movement, but those are lower caps and obviously they're much more for fun. So people said, what about ETH, coach? ETH's already below my level. If it comes any lower any lower than where we're at right now, I mean, we're gonna see it continue to drop off. Most importantly, ETH is underneath the candles. We had a bearish TK cross way over here, which was I think around the 12th of April. And not only that, most importantly, Ethereum is underneath the cloud. This is bearish. The whole entire chart's bearish. So I know, we have to look in bearish charts where we have a macro trend shift. Now that ETH is so bearish, where do we actually get back into ETH, right? And what I'm looking at is like, where is the next level for ETH going to be? The 200 EMA could hold, and that would be pretty much the level we'd have to look at, because if it doesn't hold, we're going down to 2,600, maybe even all the way back down to this golden level right here in the $2,300 to $2,400 level. Now, it's kind of a stretch, but I'm always ready and prepared for everything because I've been in crypto so long. I'm used to this. Anyone who's been telling you right now and being serious that this is just a relief rally on crypto market, on the whole entire crypto market, and that we're still in a bear market, those people are idiots, by the way, because you don't make all-time highs on many assets when you're in a bear market. I'm sorry, it's not how it works. Relief rallies mean you go a little bit higher and you come lower. So just so anyone who's telling you that, those people really don't know what the hell they're talking about, probably should ignore those types. Now, I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of the rest of the market. So ADA, full bearish. Bearish TK cross underneath the candlesticks, and we have a cloud that even twisted as well. So we have all the signs on ADA. Algorand, the same thing. Bearish TK cross, Kumo twist, Chico spans underneath the candlesticks, and we had a bearish TK cross with our Kijin higher than our Tenkin. All bearish. So, and what we can see here is over and over as we cycle through all the coins, the same thing, right? And if you're seeing that we're below the cloud and that we've had a bearish TK cross, all of these coins that I'm showing you, other than BNB, which is coming up for a TK cross and potentially could drop off, are bearish, right? And so it's easy enough to just say that and go, okay, this is what we're at. We're at the part of the cycle where the entire market is actually fully bearish, and we're now waiting for a macro trend cycle shift. We need to shift through the cloud, above the cloud, breakout, and then we're back into a bull market. And this is not an indicator where we're talking about opinions. I'm not giving you what I want to happen here. What I want to happen is I want the market to go up, just like all you do, right? But the reality is here that we have a full-on bearish chart, and we have a full bearish chart. We look for bearish opportunities. So selling for profits is a good idea. Waiting for bottoms is another good idea. And what you need to do is start tracking out where would those buy be. So here, if we're looking at Matic, we can see that 50 cents could be a great buying zone because it's been a zone for the whole entire cycle since last cycle and into the bear market and through the bear market. Near Protocol actually is one of the ones that still looks good, but we're seeing things as well with it that we don't like, right? We're seeing bearish ETK crosses. We're seeing breaks into the cloud. We're seeing Chiku span that pretty much are bearish, right? So even the newest coins are all coming back down to reality. And that doesn't mean that they're going to go to zero or anything like that. I mean, this Nibby looks like a full-on, what this looks like is a bull flag, right? Now, people will say, well, coach, how could that be a bull flag? But reality looks, if we just look at it from a realistic perspective, like, look, that looks like a bull flag. Now we could break down below it, but right now it's a pennant for sure. We can go through every project portal. I mean, I was telling one of my friends, like, there's no way it's going to stay this high because it has daily vesting. And I was actually sitting on my favorite island with him, telling him at $2.20, like, bro, take some profit. He's like, no, man, it's going to be the biggest thing in the world. Always suspend your disbelief, guys. If you don't, you're going to end up sitting with a bag that could have been worth hundreds of thousands and be worth 50 grand. And then we're 25. And then we're 20. So be careful. Always take profit. That's always a good idea. No matter what day, no matter where we're at in the cycle, taking profit is the smartest move you can do. The Wilder World just went bearish as well. Like, I'm telling you, all the biggest projects, AR, look at it, basically teetering on bearish. It already is pretty much bearish. Ajax is pretty much bearish. FET is pretty much bearish, right? GRT is full bearish, right? If we're looking at this and we're going, oh yeah, the market's great position, anyone who's looking at this market right now telling you it's in a good position here is lying to your face. What we are at right now is the time of the cycle where we sell in May, or we already sold off before May, and it's time for people to go back on vacation and holidays and enjoy the summer. So I personally expect us to stay bearish, maybe not go super far down from here, but likely have a sideways and up. And actually, I'll show you another time we had this happen, just to kind of give you that perspective on where we're at. So another time we had this happen, let's go back to last cycle. here's last cycle. This is right, okay, so we had March, we ran up, right? And then we had the halving, and we didn't really go down that much. We went up to like, 10,000 and went back down to like 8. There wasn't a crazy sell-off, right? But there was a sell-off from like 10 to 8,500, which was like a pullback of, was like 15%, right? But when we had a movement somewhere in the middle of summer in July, where we went from 9 to like 12, 13, and then we came back down again all the way 20%, 21%. And then we kind of got out of September, we started kind of going up and going sideways in October, and then boom, we started blowing up. Now, if we fast forward 4 years, and that's what we're gonna do right now, fast forward 4 years, and we go, okay, well, when potentially, and this is why you guys are watching this video, I'm sure, you wanted to know, Coach, well, when is the actual time that we see bullishness? And it's somewhere probably around September 21st and August 20th. So I would say in this zone that I've just drawn here is likely where we see the real next bullish movement happen. And for us to do something like this, and I'll draw it here and I'll erase it because I don't want it to be on my chart, but us to do something like this and come down here and then do this and then come back up here and then kind of maybe go like this and then start rising into September, October, and then start the run would be very likely. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's what you should be looking for. And you should start planning for that. So, yes, memes are going to be here for the summer. Yes, the market's not going anywhere, but I can tell you right now that you should be very, very on top of this right now and in this moment so that you don't miss out on the next move. Because what I can tell you is I trade on a daily time frame. I don't trade a lot. I don't need to. I place my bets, I take my profits, I put my bets back in. If you trade with this mentality, you have the right mindset to make real money. Don't, it's likely that you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to end up with regrets on where you're going. So what I would say is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I showed you as an example from the 24th to the 26th to the 27th to the 30th, all the way up to the plan happening down at 57. We could go to 52. Be prepared, think of your plan, and take action. Set limit orders at levels that you want to buy it, and don't risk money that you can't afford to lose because the market could continue staying bearish for the summer. I hope not, but it's a reality that we all should be ready for. Much love, everybody. I'm Coach K. If you have any comments, you want me to focus on anything else in next videos, let me know. But this is not time to get down on yourself. You all beg for 70,000, please give us $50,000. Please give us 45 again. Yet when it comes back to these levels, when it comes back, the last thing you're doing is deploying any capital because you're not taking profit, you're not planning your trade, you're not thinking ahead. And now, what are you gonna do? You're gonna think ahead, you're gonna make a plan, you're gonna deploy capital, you're gonna take profit on the way up, little by little, and you'll be stuck in a much better position like I am right now. That's all you have to do.